Hey guys, Kamina the coach here. This is my second video for today, and it's in a different location. I'm in my hotel room here in Chiapas, Mexico. It is January 5th, 2022. I am Kamina the coach. This channel was originally dedicated to helping people get it together to work and live abroad. And with the influx of COVID in March of 2020, I returned to the United States and refocused the channel to help people work through early childhood trauma and adoption trauma as I worked through my process, because I did some really heavy lifting, and I really it was really healing for me and meaningful to me to be able to share that journey online and hopefully be able to help some others along the way as well. August of 2022, I was lucky and blessed enough to be able to return to working outside of the United States. Yay! And I have started doing videos addressing working and living abroad again as well. However, this particular video is going to be related to mental health, specifically how you relate to others and how you relate to yourself. So without further ado, so there are some things that I've done to heal myself that actually have labels in psychology that I didn't know about. So one of the things that I have, so you've probably, if you followed my channel, heard me say it more than once, but one of the very first steps that I took was speaking gently to myself or selves. And let me, so before I move on too far, so there's a book that brought me to this realization. So it's called, name of the book is Symphony of Selves. I was in a group today that mentioned it. So I've been going through this book, Symphony of Selves, because it sounded really interesting to me. To me, it sounded like inner family systems. And so inner family systems is an idea or a theory in psychology where you, in effect, reparent yourself. So that's really effective for people that were not brought up in an ideal situation and did not get the love and attention and security that they needed to get from their caregivers. So inner family systems is actually looking at all of those. It says that there are versions of yourself still present in you. So it actually acknowledges the presence of selves. So Symphony of Selves, that might not be the name of the book. I might be getting it wrong. I hope I'm getting the title right. But the book is actually saying that there are selves inside of you outside of psychosis, outside of disorder, outside of pathology. There can be identities inside of you, and it's not bad. It's there, not can be, but there are. I'm not a Beyonce fan per se. I'm not against the woman, but I'm not a Beyonce fan. But she acknowledges that there has to be an alter her because she is so shy and reserved that she has that alter ego that has to go perform for her. The book also talks about David Bowie, acknowledging that there are that he had several different forms of him. Herschel Walker as well. Bless the guy. Regardless of what you think of him, he has achieved some really amazing things in life and was actually diagnosed because one of his personalities was not able to control itself. So inner family systems, like I said, is something that I was already doing. I was learning to speak gently to myself and learning to identify which parts of myself I was actually speaking to. Sometimes a part of me that would be speaking was not me. It would be the voice of my adoptive mother. So I would just like to throw that out there. I haven't gotten all the way through the book yet, so it may address that, but the book is kind of trying to say that all of the voices that you have going on inside of your head are some version of yourself. And I don't know if it's going to say that all the way through, but I definitely believe that some of the voices that were going on inside of me that I was able to identify were not mine. Some of the really unhealthy ones were not mine. Definitely my adoptive mother, and I am very thankful to be aware of that. It may be that one of those voices conditioned the one of me's inside of me, but this book really gives me perspective on that. So what does this have to do? So first of all, is it beneficial? So how does it benefit you? So so for me, inner family systems says there are versions of me, not entirely different people, but different versions of me at different ages. So for me, that makes sense. The book that I'm going through now is actually saying that there may be entirely different versions of you, entirely different people. I'm going to have to explore that more. Um, I hadn't ever thought about it before. They all feel like versions of me to me. A very young me, an adolescent me, a teenage me. For me, all of the versions feel like some portion of me, because I've been very different people in my life. I was a white child in my mind, a toddler up to adolescent, up to teenager. I was a white child in my mind. So that's an entirely different person. In my teenage years, I was homeless. Through some period of my life, I was an exotic dancer. Through some period of my life, I was a soldier. I've been entirely different people in my life. So for me, it makes sense that the versions of me inside of me are different ages of me. Inside of you, they may be entirely different people. What does that have to do with how I relate to myself? Learning to love myself, learning to have compassion for myself, and treating these parts of me gently and kindly has a lot to do with my self-love journey. And if you know anything about my journey, you know that learning to love myself has been the end all be all. It was the culminating point for me. It was the point from where I start thriving instead of just surviving. It's the first time in my life where I have not felt like the world is constantly conspiring against me. So, having compassion, being gentler, more kind of yourself, and more accepting, instead of being like, why am I doing that? Accepting and understanding that there are very different versions of yourself living inside of yourself. So that's number one, the relationship with yourself. Number two, and this is something I don't think I love to do videos when I have aha moments. Something I've never really thought about, and I don't know why. And I'm a little ashamed. I want to have compassion for myself because I didn't think about it before. I have chills really, because I'm so sad that I wasn't able to have this compassion for others. If I can have compassion for myself for these erratic behaviors, why can't I have compassion for others? I'm known for being very rigid. I have very strong value system, and I am not even able to consistently uphold my value system. Why am I so hard on other people when they have inadvertently not been able to uphold my value system? So I would like for you to be able to take that, if you and understand very black and white thinking is a trauma response as well. So I recognize that about myself, and hopefully if you have that very black and white thinking, you understand that about yourself as well. So understanding it isn't always enough to get past it, especially with other people, and we weren't put here to be alone. So how are we able to be more accepting and more compassionate towards other people? Well, understanding that if we have many versions of ourselves, and we may have younger versions of us that have been hurt and traumatized and all that stuff, that other people effectively have those versions of themselves inside of them too, that do things that they're not proud of, and things that the part of them that presents to you most of the time is ashamed of and wouldn't choose to do, and certainly is not choosing to do to hurt you. So it's a really short video. I hope that it's powerful. I hope that it's recording. Am I recording? Oh, I am. We're going to have to go with it. I'm just going to have to go with it with this video. That was I was just like, oh my God, Did I give this impassioned speech and it's not recording? It is recording. I'm in a different orientation, as you can see, and I'm losing sunlight, so I'm going to go ahead and end this pretty quickly. So that's all I'm going with. Symphony of Selves, I think, is the name of the book. I can't look. Maybe I can look. I can't look because I'm doing a video right now. Symphony of Selves, I believe. Do a search for it. If that is not it, it's pretty close to it. Written by a doctor and a JD John something, I think. Sorry. But yes, so accepting that there are many versions of you, whether you are talking about the young versions of you or completely different versions of self. Accepting that, being kind to those parts of yourself, having compassion for yourself, and then allowing that to trickle down to compassion that you have for other people, and being able to be more compassionate and more accepting of the flaws of others as well. And whoops, oh man, and more understanding as you deal with them is going to is hopefully what you're going to be able to get from this. That's definitely what I am taking from this. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down now. I'm starting to get washed out and have had a bunch of faux pas here. Hopefully the message is powerful enough that you're able to look past me doing this with the video. We are definitely not put here to be alone. If you feel like an alien like me, you may struggle for relationships. So I hope that this video helps you to have more successful relationship, first of all with yourself, and most importantly with other people. So most importantly with yourself first, so that you can have relationships with other people. So until next time, as always, my name is Kamina the Coach, sending you love, light, peace, and joy. Until next time, I am out.